Hey, gorgeous gals, welcome back to Contour Image, where I help you build confidence through your image. And today I'm going to talk about specific colors that can look really good on you once you understand your colors. So, I have been an esthetician for many, many years now, but what got me into becoming an esthetician, well, before I looked into ever being an esthetician, I decided I actually come to find this thing called color analysis. Now, some of you may be aware of what color analysis is. You probably have a whole idea of what it is. It was pretty big back in the 80s. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe you've had your colors done before in the past. But today I'm going to share with you, particularly, especially if you haven't, if you don't know anything about color analysis or anything, it's about how certain colors look good on you. And I know a lot of us have been told about, your skin undertone and whether you're blue undertone, yellow undertone, or sometimes they consider it also neutral. I'm not going to go too much into how that works and what would make someone necessarily like for you to be like what makes you be cool or warm. But what I'm going to do is actually show you from a book that I wrote here. I will have it linked in the description below. And I'm just going to give you a small segment of doing a color analysis on a friend of mine who really helped me out while making this book. So I wanted to share that with you just to get you an idea of maybe how I write my books and just how educational they are, whether it's through color analysis or through all my other skincare books that I have for you. So I want to jump right into this. It's called How to Look More Vibrant and Youthful with Color. And then I kind of said no makeup required because in order to look good, it's really about what you're wearing and not the makeup that you're putting on your skin. Now, you can use this to find the right colors that are going to match for your skin. But today, it's ultimately really just what you're wearing and how the colors affect your skin naturally without wearing makeup or anything. And then that way, we can kind of find out how you look, like how we can find your best colors that if you wear these, you'll always look good regardless, pretty much with whatever it is you do. So I'm going to go down. Hmm, all right. So I wrote a lot in this book. This is kind of towards the middle end of the book to kind of let you know how a color analysis is done after talking about a little bit of the science, how it works, all the different kinds of, um, sometimes we call it like the families of colors. And what a lot of people will also know is they'll know these things called seasons. And so seasons are kind of how they put the certain families of color in a specific area. And it'll kind of be discussed here throughout when I'm talking, when I did the color analysis with my friend here in this book. So, the first thing I want to bring up to you is during the consultation, what we are looking for is your skin color. Like, how does it actually look like on your face? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get you to get the colors to blend with you so that we see you and not like this color that you're wearing. Today, black is not really my color, but it's just something I had and I just kind of had to wear it for now. So this is not really my color at all. I would do a little better in brown and I'll explain it here in a few minutes, but just to give you an overview, don't really consider me the best example for this video for myself. I'm just here to just share with you how this works. So we want to see if the skin color itself without makeup, you'll be doing this without makeup, the health and glow of your skin. Do you have rosier cheeks? Are redness, like just ruddiness, maybe spots of your face that are kind of red and inflamed or something? Does it kind of diminish a little bit? We're also looking for the jawline here. Does it look more lifted, or and more narrow? And you'll see some of these in these pictures. It's very slight, but you'll see the difference here. The eyes. Do these colors make your eyes sparkle and become bright and intense? And your hair. Now, if you, so long as you haven't dyed your hair a different color or anything, we would. we will use your hair also as a guide. Not so much. I usually really look more at the skin and everything. But if you happen to have your hair dyed or a different color than your normal color or anything, I would actually hide your hair because I don't want that distracting from what's going on with your skin and your eyes. So, but if you do have your hair that hasn't been colored or anything, we're also looking at, does it look shiny? Does it look healthy? And then just the facial detail in general. Is it smoother, softer looking? Is are there diminished lines and dark circles under the eyes that just start to kind of soften up and diminish? So the whole idea is to have a focus, that the colors harmonize, creating a balance between you and your clothing. And I kind of put here at the very bottom of this page, wear the clothes, don't let the clothes wear you. Okay. Because I want to see you. I don't want to, I mean, your clothes, great. I could say, oh my gosh, that's such a cute dress or whatever, but I want to see you. And that's what the whole point of this is. So here's the first step in the consultation. I might read some bits and pieces, but I might just jump over and just get right into it. So the first thing we're going to look at is, are you warm or cool? Now I know a lot of people talk about neutral, like you could be neutral. That kind of sort of doesn't really exist, and I don't know if I'll be able to get into that with you right now. I might talk about it a little, but for now, it it doesn't really exist. And actually I might show you later. But so anyways, we're going to look right here right now if you're warm or cool. And this is my friend Hannah, and she these are all the original pictures. I did not Photoshop the colors on her. These are real pictures that I took of her. Each drape is a part of the pictures. Because if I superimposed the color on her, you would not get the effects. So these are all original pictures. We didn't lighten or brighten them. We just took them. And I do have a friend who is a professional photographer. So these are as the best that they can be, without messing with the colors or the lighting or anything. So my friend Hannah here, she did a great job. She pretty much kept her face the same. I asked her to do that and she did such a great job. And so what we noticed, the first thing I'll do, I have a few different drapes and they're all differences between how intense the colors are or how light the colors are. And so I just kind of use this one to open it up. And so this color over here is actually a kind of more of a blue undertone, while this color over here is a warm undertone. Now, right here, we're not going to see like the major details in the skin so much. Well, maybe in the skin, but not some of all the other things. As we get closer and closer and get closer to her wow colors, is what we like to call them, then we will actually start seeing more of the changes in her skin color and everything. But for now, this is just to kind of get an idea of, if I had to choose, which one would look better on her. And so I want to tell you that that here you can tell in this picture that the color orange kind of shows up on her skin and it kind of makes her a little sallow. It makes her look, I don't want to say like she has jaundice, but it just kind of gives that look a little bit. It doesn't look so great. But on this color, as it bounces up to her skin here, it actually makes her look a little bit more rosier. And you might be thinking, well, that's the color of, the draping of it. Of course, it's going to make her look more rosy. Well, actually, not always on everybody, because if they had a warm undertone, they'd have the exact opposite effect between the two. But so for now, we're seeing that she actually looks a little more healthier, a little more rosier, just healthier in general. And then I also have other colors here that I used on her. So you can tell it gets too much darker in depth in color. So this is the cool side and this is the warm side. And as I get closer, if you really look, let's see if I can actually bring it up a little bit. Yeah, because we're going to have to see all these colors here. If you notice, looking between these two, this brown almost makes her look like she's back in like 18 something or something, but this one actually looks more professional. And again, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, black usually looks more professional. I mean, heck, I'm wearing it right now. But that's not always the case for everyone. But for her in this case, it is. So I kind of mentioned here on the sides here, the brown appears to age Hannah a bit. And then just to add more here, you can see here, it's again, that orange kind of covering her, or here she's a little bit more pink. And let me see, these are the same colors that I used on the last one. I didn't grab the other pictures, but you can kind of see a slight the slight similarities of the light color here versus the dark color. So these are almost like the same color, just the hue is just more intense where the other one has like a little bit more white added to it. Same here, the orange and the two oranges here. And you might even notice right here that she actually looks better in these colors than she does in these colors. But for now, I do kind of mention that in the cool undertones, Hannah looks a bit more vibrant and healthier when compared to the warm undertones. So, and I mentioned here that the orange jumps up and covers Hannah's face, making her look sallow. And it's true. Like you can even see, just she just looks a little too orange here. She looks more rosy and pink. So now I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Go back out a little bit. So once we find out, okay, we've discussed and we've kind of found here that Hannah, and I put the check mark here, Hannah looks best in the cool tones. These are the cool tones on this side here. And we're just deciding, okay, she looks better in the cool zones, cool tones. Now, our next thing is to find what's called a home season. And the home season is actually kind of that seasonal color thing. And I'll maybe briefly go over that a little bit. But for now, it's how the colors are segmented. And this is going to tell us a little bit more about what segmentations of the home that she belongs to in season form. So we got um, summer, winter, fall, and spring. So here we're going to look. So they're very similar. They're both blue undertone colors, but you can tell that one is a little bit darker and one is a little bit lighter. And so when we look at these two, you can tell that the darker color kind of balances her out a little bit more. This is almost a little too light for her. This one kind of, adds more, just it actually gives a little more color to her skin. This one almost kind of washes her out a little bit. If you really look at them, that's what's going on here. And you can see it here. So again, I have the colors on one side over here that we're going to look at in the summer. So we're seeing that these are just to let you know, this is winter season and this is summer season. That's the difference, is that this one has a little bit more depth, more contrast in the colors, while this one has less contrast in them. So we're noticing here in the winter section, there's a little bit more depth. And if you look very closely, you can see Hannah's jawline seems more lifted and becomes more V-like than in the or more V-like in the winter color. Sorry, I kind of butchered that when I was talking. So if you really look at her jawline here, you see this? You're almost seeing more of a V on her. This one's almost more flat. You see that? So you're going to see that. And I mentioned here, Hannah's jawline looks a little more square in the summer colors. So that's what's happening here. And you're noticing that there's more of a V going on here. This one's more flat. So it's kind of giving her more of a liftedness. And so to making that V just a little bit. Again, it's very, very subtle, but it's just enough to go, okay, you know. We're seeing it here too. It's just a little bit more V-like, where this one's more flat. So you can see that summer colors wash Hannah out a bit too. And that's what I kind of mentioned here. So this one balances her off a lot more than these colors. This one actually might look a little dark than this one. You might kind of see the opposite. It was just the way somehow the lighting went on that one, because I didn't mess with the lighting. These are just the pictures themselves. So, but she just seems a little more balanced in this. Now, oh, here's more winter. So we look at blue. So we have the different colors in reds, kind of purples. We have blues and greens. I will admit, green was not really one of her colors. So Hannah's hair. So we're now looking at her hair. What do these colors do for her? Hannah's hair looks darker, shinier, and healthier in the winter colors. So you can kind of see it does look darker. It doesn't mean that you necessarily want it to be darker, but it looks shinier and healthier. And because her hair isn't really super dark, but it does have some depth to it, which is again why she looks better in the colors that have more depth in them. So you can kind of see that her hair actually looks a little more shinier here. It's just kind of washed out a little bit. It doesn't really balance her as well as these colors do. And we're seeing it here. Now, like I said, green was not really one of her colors. And I know in my set that I had, for some reason, this one came as a shinier color. This one's just more of a matte. I don't know. It was just kind of what was in there, and I just kind of had to deal with it. Um, so this here, you can see that she actually does look better though in this green. She looks a little bit more professional. It brings her out more in the colors of her skin. She almost looks a little tanner, but in a healthy sense. In this one, she just looks washed out. So I just want you to kind of really see that and notice just the differences that are going on here. Now, in the third phase, this is where the seasons. So we talked about going between. Since we had cool seasons, the cool seasons are winter and summer. So we kind of noticed that she looks best in her winter zone here. See, it's winter. We decided that she looks best in winter. But winter, all the other seasons kind of break up into three more categories. So this is where we're going to find her wow colors and try to figure out where in the winter area does she look her absolute best. So I'm just going to show you here. So we've got, this is the bright, bright winter, cool winter, and deep winter. So deep is where we add more black to the colors, where cool is still has that depth, is kind of what we were playing with earlier a little bit. And then this one is the bright. So this would be where there's no black, no white, and no gray added to the color. It is its pure color. And so I talk, of course, more of the whole thing in the book on this. So if you're a little lost on that, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to let you know how a consultation goes here. So if you can kind of see this one kind of makes her look a little bit drabby. This one's better, but between this one and this one, I mean, you're seeing that she looks really good in this one. We'll show that here. So I kind of show it here. So I use all the red clear colors here. And then I go into cool, deep. Oops, sorry. This is deep. This is cool. And this is just the regular winter. So I kind of say that Hannah looks a little bit damp in the winter color compared to the bright color. So when we're looking here, I'm going to make it a little larger here. Maybe you can see that. Yeah. I'm going to need to kind of read a few things. So maybe I'll have to go like that. Okay. So you'll kind of see, yeah, it makes her look a little damp, where this one's like, it's really bringing her out. And then over here, let's see. Yeah, and the winter colors. Yeah, even here, this is actually the cool. This is a cool color right here. This is the cool one right here. She still looks damp. Like you can tell here, she looks damp, damp. Okay. And then in the deep, it just looks even more, deep colors tend to make Hannah look as though a brown cast has been added, making her appear kind of worn, like worn out. So you'll see that here if you look at them. But when you look comparably to these, because we have to look at them separately, you'll notice that she just still looks the best in this color over the real damp, darker colors. And we did it here with the blues. So here's her clear blue. Here's the winter blue. Okay, winter and cool color, or winter, the winter and cool color. So winter is this one. They're all winter, but this one's like a pure winter. Hopefully that makes sense. And cool colors tend to enhance discoloration around Hannah's eyes. So now we're looking at her eyes. And we're seeing they look a little like she's got some blue, or like, maybe a little bit, some dark eyes going on, dark circles going on. But over here, you don't notice it as much. So you're seeing it here, versus over here. And then when we're looking at the deep, so this one has a little bit more black, or I'm sorry, this is a cool color. I'm sorry. They're all cool, but this is considered cool. You can almost see again here compared to here. This kind of just gives her a damp look again and everything, but this one, like, it really gives her a really nice look. And I see clear colors tend to brighten Hannah and make her look more vibrant. So, and then this is the deep. This is the one that has the most black added to it. And again, you can kind of see around her eyes here again, a little bit more damp and dark. The other thing too, I kind of noticed just a smidge, just a little bit, is it almost flattens her back out again, but over here it's just slightly more narrow. But again, it also brings out more of that rosiness in her, where this one's kind of bringing out more of a, I don't know how to explain it. Just it's almost like she's just much darker, which you can say is fine, but it doesn't really bring her out so much. Like this one just gives her more of a brightness. Like I see her. And so now the idea is we've basically found her wow colors. Once we found out, okay, we found out she's what's called a clear, which again, I said there's no black, white, or gray added to the colors. It is the purity of a color, kind of like when you pull out a crayon, just the regular red, white, or red, blue, yellow, green, those are her colors. Those are the purity colors. And so to find your wow colors, I'm going to just bring it out. So we found her wow color, and the benefit again of finding your wow colors is you'll be more vibrant, you'll be youthful, and ultimately the focus will be on you. So that's what we found here. This was actually one of her best colors. Blue and red was actually like her ultimate best color, but I did find a few more that would really work for her. Let me see if I'm going to have to shrink the page a little bit. And I just want you to see the harmony that goes on between all these colors. So these are like the purity of these colors, and then I just kind of draped her a little bit here. So it roll up a little bit. I draped her there with all just kind of a general sense of all the colors. Now you still have a large span of colors. It's just that this one kind of shows the main pieces of those colors in, greens, yellows, reds, pinks, blues, whatever. So, and in other seasons, they'll also have their purples and blues and greens, and some might have their yellows and oranges, those and reds. Those will be a little different. But, for me, these colors would look really bad on me because I'm more warm while she is cool. So for her, these are great colors for her. For me, they wouldn't look so good. I would have a completely different look than what she had. So I just want you to see that, and then so I got some pictures here of some colors. And basically, so I just mentioned here, Hannah is a clear winter because she's in the season of winter, but she's not a deep winter. She's not a cool winter, and she's not a pure winter. She is a clear winter. So a clear winter has a cool undertone and looks best with colors in their pure hue, which is called chroma, which means there's no white, black, or gray added. And I know I just mentioned that, but I'm going to just say it. So a clear winter, and she says, be prepared for compliments. And so the best part is you wear the colors that work best on you, and you can use makeup that looks best on you. And if she ever wanted to dye her hair a different color or anything like that, she could find something that would work in that same area. For me, I don't really know what that would be at this moment. For the most part, I always just think you should just kind of keep your natural hair color for the most part, maybe put some highlights in at best. But then, when we start getting grays, it might be a little different of a story. So, the conclusion, is I hope that you can see the value of understanding your color palette and how you can utilize it for your benefit. And so I just want to, stay beautiful for life. I just kind of add that in there. And I just wanted you to just see, how colors can really make a difference on you. Like right now, if you're looking at my color right now, like what's going on right now in this video, I can even see it right now. Black is it's a little hard on me. It doesn't look horrible. It doesn't look like super bad, but I can just tell. I mean, it could also be the lighting a bit, but I can just tell it's a little bit hard on me right now, seeing it in this video and with the lighting that I have on myself. So, because black is actually, well, you see it here. Black is actually a cool color, and she's got it right there. She can do some charcoals too if she wants to go a little lighter in some areas. However, again, some of these are not always going to be the best on her, but we do know that these colors here, she looks great in her pure red, pinks, purples, and blues. To be honest, this one should have been a little bit darker, like in this color right here, but I just did not get a picture. I couldn't find it or something when I did them. I don't think I got that picture actually. But I just decided, okay, I'll just stick it in there. So really it should be a little deeper than that one. That's just a little secret that I have in my book where I kind of messed up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you might be something else. I am more of like a warm autumn. So I'm actually completely on the opposite scale from her. Um, but we're both pretty bright at the same time, just not super bright because I need a little bit more contrast than she does, but I would have warm color undertones. So thank you so much for watching me here. I hope you're getting an idea. I am going to eventually do some color analysis in real life, actually doing the draping in real time, I guess I could call it, even though it'll be a recording, just to kind of show and you can kind of see how this all works and just how you can see how colors really make a difference on people. And I want you to learn from this so that maybe one day you can have your colors done, or maybe I can figure out a way to get your colors done. I know that they do things digitally today, but they're not really, it's not really that great. It might give you a good idea of what it would be, but you won't really get the full effects unless you're actually draping yourself and having that color. I'll mention it here. You know, I mentioned this part at the very beginning where I talk about how, I use this one because this one will really show the color, but we already kind of saw what it does toward jawline already. So it says, of course, wearing the right colors. Okay, here it is. Okay, here's an example of light reflecting the color of fabric onto Hannah's face, for example. So, and I said I used a bright neon color to help exaggerate the color of fabric reflected on her skin. But in general, all colors do this in a very subtle way. And I mentioned to you what it was doing to her jawline and even what it was doing under her eyes, for example. Now, this is actually one of her colors. It's really intense and it might be even a little too bright, but she could actually get away with wearing this. I would not be able to, but she can actually get away with it because it's a pure color. In fact, it's actually a little too bright. I do find she might actually need a little bit of depth, but she could get away with it. And that's the other thing. There are some colors that may not really be your color, but you can kind of get away with it, or you know how to work with it to get away with it. So I just really hope that this helps you to understand it a little bit more. I'm going to get more information out. I would like to actually open up some kind of way of doing it where you can actually do the draping on yourself and actually have the right color fabrics. I know a lot of times people will take things like you get an orange shirt or a yellow shirt, but again, an orange or a pink, they could both be warm pinks and warm oranges where you're not going to see the cool and warm. The colors that we use have been properly tested to make sure that it has the cool undertones versus the yellow undertones. And just because it's a orange or yellow shirt doesn't mean that it's not a warm or cool yellow, for example. There are warm yellows and there are cool yellows. And this is a cool yellow here. My nails, they're actually a little bit more on the warm side, but the light kind of makes it look a little different. So this nail polish was kind of weird. I think I did. Yeah, I do actually have this video out if you are interested in knowing how I did these nails too. Anyway, oops, sorry, I don't even know where I'm at. But these are 2 weeks old, by the way. I got to redo them. But I just wanted to let you know on that so that you would have a good idea of, where, what colors do for you. So anyways, I've been blabbing long enough. I hope this gives you some more insight. Give this a thumbs up if you appreciated this and learned something from it. If you want, also let me know in the comments below if you want me to do maybe a little bit more information on it. Like I said, I will be doing some actual real life consultations with some people I know. It's just a matter of having the time with them because it's sometimes hard to get people when they're ready. But I do plan on doing that so that you can see what works with them. And you'll see how different colors will work with them compared to what Hannah's here. They may not be a clear winter, they'll be something completely different. And you'll see how those colors work on them. So, yeah, just let me know. And I look forward to your comments and hopefully your thumbs up for this one. And thank you again for joining me here at Contour Image. And remember to stay beautiful for life.